I remember meeting you on the warmest day of summer. After the springtime, sun warmed the Netherlands. Sitting round your table with your Highness and his brother, saying grace and holding little hands. I remember thinking you and me could be best friends, like brothers, where the summers never end. We would keep our secrets from your mother and your sisters. We would write each other letters we would never send, singing hallelujah. There's a light go through. Sunlight shine in the shadows of your mind till you're true. Yeah. I remember meeting with your father at the altar, your mother, your brother, father's friends, praying hallelujah, that the light would flow through you. Fire of hell would have an end. We were singing hallelujah, let the light go through you, let the sunlight shine in the shadows of your mind. Let the love light shine in the shadows of your mind till we're true, yeah. I remember talking with your father around my table. His brother said he thought his dad was mad. And I remember thinking I would ask him if I was drinking. Wasn't thinking of your children make you sad. I remember writing to your father in a letter. Said I love you, not gonna miss you, but I can't pretend. Father shot me with an arrow through the heart, through the marrow. My spirit meets my bones till I was nearly dead. I was singing hallelujah, let the light go through, let the sunlight shine in the shadows. Shine in the shadows of your mind till we're true, yeah. Hallelujah, let the light go through, yeah. Let the love light shine in the shadows of your mind till we're true, yeah. Everybody. Nice to see you this morning. My name's Chris over here. While we're getting warmed up, getting our bodies into this space together, what do you say we stand up and let ourselves move a little bit. That one was one from Ben Kyle and Romantica. And this next one is a little bit of an encouragement for you to just let yourself be right here, be where you are. Somebody else. Have you got fire in your mind? It keeps you up at night. I watch you run around head down and disregard. I see you running from your shadow. Can I ask you please to stay? You run till you got nothing left. We still end up face to face. Sing this part out. Be where you are. Be where you are. Afraid of how you feel. Don't look for life in past or future. Look right at it and in the eye. After this moment there's a new one. Be where you are. Sing that out. Be where you are. Be where you are. I know that it gets lonely and dark and empty. Hard. And I know that you want to close off your heart. You've been using all the noise to avoid meeting your mess. Well, you don't have to work so hard. Just stop and take a breath and be where you are. Be where you are. Be where you All right, yeah. Thank you. You can go ahead and have a seat now, if you would, please. But while you do that, I want you to just feel the support of that seat. Feel the pushback from the floor, and And let yourself just remember that you're held. And I guess I would just kind of open the space, sort of saying that I don't know much about all that is and all that's out there, but for our time together, however you see this, I would ask for the support of the universe, all the beings of light and love that are, and the source of all of that, to be in this space with us and help us to feel that light, feel that safety and that fullness that we can feel when we make time together. Breath for that. And as we've been engaging this conversation around grief lately, I don't know, sometimes that pulls up our own hard stuff. It becomes less theoretical and more actual in our own experiences. And I know that things for me keep kind of bubbling up, and we'll keep talking about our weaving wall and how you can use that for moments of marking times that feel significant together. We'll keep talking about that, but that's always something that you are welcome to do. And I just encourage you to let it all be, and to be gentle with yourself this morning. And as we're learning to do that with each other, this next song kind of digs into some of that. It's called Trade My Love. Karen's going to lead this one, so sing along as you feel like it.
Dust on the scales as grass of the field. So are our days with the serpent on our heels. The reed is bruised, the sky is cracked. You wear your pain as a veil of black. Proverbs of ashes smear you with lies. The one who changed your name has touched your side. Fortune and favor you have not known. What is the vine you have not grown? I will not sing songs when you're heavy. I will not speak words to make it clear. I will stay with you in all that you carry.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Welcome. Hi. How's everybody doing? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm Ian. Use he, him pronouns, and I'm happy to be the welcomer today. This is a new role for me. Very fun. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of Fabric today. It's just abundantly clear every single day that sort of third spaces outside of our homes and workplaces where we get to be together and wrestle with like the big stuff of what it is to be a human in this time and place is needed. So thanks for making it happen. It only happens when we all make it happen. So thanks for being here. Really good to be together. So kids are mostly, I'm not seeing a ton of kids in here because most of them are back in the gym already. They've been preparing actively for their Christmas production. This year it's the Jingle Book. We're super, super excited. It's not only is it an amazing production, but it's also a really cool opportunity for kids and for us as their supporters and biggest fans, right, to practice some of our core values. And I just wanted to say yesterday, both of my kids are lemmings in the show. If you want to learn more about that, December 14th, mark your calendars. The show is December 14th at 10:30. We're going to do it at Richfield Lutheran down kind of by the Cub on, what is it, Nicollet and 60th? Yeah. And yesterday at rehearsal, it was so cool because kids are going in and out throughout the morning, rehearsing their parts, practicing songs, doing their dance moves. The lemmings are doing this like Winter Wiggles song. It's very, very excellent. You're not going to want to miss it. But at the very end, Heidi had all the kids, so these are like preschoolers all the way up, and they went around in a circle and shared something from that morning that they were proud of, or that they were proud of their group, their friends for. And to hear like first graders affirming their friends, and like that's like the whatever happens on the 14th, at this point, I don't even care. That was so beautiful. That moment was so cool. So anyway, big shout out to Heidi and Della and all of the adults. I know there's a lot of you who are making this happen, so thank you. Just a couple, and also if there's other little ones, like really little ones, the media center, we call it the Nest on Sunday mornings. It's the school media center is open, and it's a great space for kids to be kids and get their wiggles out and play with friends. And so feel free to go check that out if you've got a 6-month to 3-year-old. Thank you, Rachel. And then a couple just housekeeping notes. Over here, there's coffee and tea and water and treats. I believe there's still some treats. Feel free to get up anytime, whether it's right now or when you hear something that is really offensive and you need to just get up and leave it. Just kidding. Try to keep it pretty casual. Sorry, Chris. I'm not speaking today. Try to keep it really casual. Feel free to get up and use the space, inhabit the space, grab whatever you need. Restrooms, follow the signs. There's the school bathrooms, and then an all gender, fully accessible changing table, and you can follow the signs throughout the halls to get back in there. They look a lot like the one on the screen. And special welcome to you if it's your first time here this morning. It's good to be gathered together. I see a couple people who I saw at the Falls this summer, but maybe you haven't been in Field Elementary with Fabric, so good to see you. And online, there's a camera right there, and so I'm waving to you. Hi, if you're online, welcome. And okay, everybody should have gotten one of these Sunday papers. If you haven't, they're available over at the welcome table. You can grab one. And there's all sorts of really good stuff in there, including a connection card. So if you want to fill this out, take a moment now or throughout the morning to just let us know you're here. If you choose to give us your email address, we have a one-time-a-week email that comes out just with kind of what's coming up and what's going on. A lot of that stuff is also listed in the Sunday paper. So I'll highlight a couple of those things. But we read these every week. The staff gets together on Mondays and reads these. So if you have a prayer request or something that you're celebrating or something you're struggling with or whatever, just drop it on there. We read it. We love to create community by knowing what's going on with each other. So that's a great opportunity. Couple things in the Sunday paper that I'm going to say out loud, even though you can also read it, and I would encourage you to because it's in there for you to read. But so Give to the Max is this Thursday. We're going to hear a little bit more about that in a while from Greg. And but just know that that's happening. Thursday is that day, and we have a goal of raising $7,500 for Give to the Max. Smile Dinner is on us. There's over there on that table with the rainbow tablecloth in the corner, there's a meal already there prepared. There's a program, this program is being hosted by, or was, I guess, ideated through Roosevelt High School, one of our amazing local public high schools, to feed people. So if you have a little extra time and resources and want to prepare a meal, you can do that. There's information online that Melissa put together on a blog post. Or if you want to grab a meal and bring it home and have it, that's great. Whatever gets brought in throughout this month of November that doesn't get taken home on Sundays, we bring to Roosevelt High School to be distributed through their program too. So just a kind of a cool way that we get to show up for one another and be community, helping community. And then finally, I think the last thing that I'm going to mention is the Get to Know Fabric event that's this Thursday at the Center of Belonging in the South Uptown neighborhood, 3501 Aldrich Avenue South. And that's an opportunity to get together if you're just kind of curious, like, what is fabric? And I've been coming and I still don't know what I'm getting into, or I've got questions, or I want to meet some other people. It's a great opportunity. So we're ordering pizza, and just, we'd love to know that you're coming so that we can get the right amount. So I'm going to be there, although I'm not all that new, but I'm going to be there because I like pizza and I like meeting people. So you can too. Anything else? I think I'm done. I think I'll be done. Yeah? Thanks. Yeah, Rick's happy about that. I would invite you, though, take a minute to stand up, move around, get coffee, get tea, use the restroom if you want, but and maybe meet somebody you haven't talked to before. And here's my question for you to kind of grease the wheels a little bit. What in the fall, what's the right temperature to set your heat to or whatever in your house? What's the right temperature? All right, go for it.
Ian, let's see if this is working. You want to say hi too?
I'll say hi. It's just to the online audience, right?
Yeah. We're just saying hi to the live streamers.
And to you.
Hello. Hi, live streamers. Melissa here and Ian.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Good to see you. Well, good to be seen by you.
Right,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah. It's so exciting when we hear that you're listening. And it's just really fills our cups and helps us feel like less alone and more excited. I know often lately I've been wearing a hat, and I've been talking about how I hope you feel the warmth and the buzz in here. But it is a little cold sometimes. It'd be warmer if you were here.
That's right. It's always better when we're together, right?
What do you think is the right temperature for your house?
Oh, okay. So we have, in my household, we have differing opinions on this. So I said that with a little bit of a wink and a nod, but I like it to be like 69 to 71. Like, that's my tight little range that I like it, especially cooler in the night, because I like warming up with blankets when I sleep. How about you, Melissa?
Yeah, cool in the night, but I like when it starts warming up so that when I get up, I don't have to, I want to get up. It's already hard enough to get out of bed at this time of year, especially it's kind of dark. So anyway.
Why do we do that whole, daylight savings? It's dark in the, daylight's fine. She doesn't need saving.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right,
I
we
won't-
should
I
probably
won't
stop.
distract you anymore.
But thanks for connecting. We have a spot you can share your response to our silliness or more, whatever you would like to share with us or let us know. We'd love to hear. And hopefully you can learn about whatever you're interested in. If you're interested in get to know fabric type stuff as a virtual person, gosh, I'd love to hear that and figure it out with you. So go to our contact card up on the upper left, drop down contact, and you can use the connection card there. Thank you. All right. Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Well, I'm going to let you guys just take your time getting back there, but we're going to start singing another song here. And I hope that this just helps you sort of like take that kindness, that interaction, and let you just kind of soak in it for a moment. This is one I wrote for us to sing together. It's called Deep, Deep Stream. We can sing oohs over this. Ooh. If you just want to hum along a little bit. Ooh. It's black or white, left or right. No third way that we could try. There is an answer we can find. It's cut and dried, it's already decided, a straight silver shot. When you find it, we should have found that answer by now. When you're sick and tired of the fight, can't seem to align with the two sides. There is something like an answer you can find. I've been round each and every bend, looking for the start and the end. I sampled every shallow, brackish bog. Gotta be a deeper stream, a better way to be, waking up from our American dreams. There is a power in the flood that washes over me, but it's been too long since I drank from that deep, deep cup that's already filled. So pour it out and make it helpful. You might hear that stream, you never know. Bottle up the breeze. It's not real if it's not wild and free. It's not for you to keep. What you need is already here, and it's worth the fight to find it. It's not easy, but it's simple. See, you might find yourself, and I'll find me. We will see. Deeper stream. And every time we breathe, waking up from our knees, short-sighted dreams. There's a power in the flood that washes over me, but it's been too long since I drank that deeper stream, that better way to be, waking up from our American dreams. There is a power in the flood that washes over me. It's been too long. Been too long, yeah, it's been too long since I drank from that deep, deep stream. Ooh. Thanks.
You know, usually my modus operandi is to make fun of Chris, but man, oh man, that was a beautiful song. Oh. Thank you. Thank you all. Hi, everyone. So good to see you all. There's a lot of faces I don't know, and I'm really... Am I getting a ton of feedback? There we go, that's better. It's so great to see you all. So thank you for being here this morning, and thank you for showing up together as Fabric. So I'm really excited to be here. My name's Chris. I use he, him pronouns. Fabric is my home community, and I get to hang out with you all this morning and start a conversation and to really lean into what it means to walk alongside each other and care for each other. We're in the midst of a series called CareIQ. It's kind of revisiting those tools of how do we walk alongside of each other and support one another in those sticky moments in life. And what tools do we cultivate to do that and to learn with and from each other? So I want to now introduce the random person standing next to me. or have them introduce themselves.
Thank you. My name is Lydia Geidel. I am both a random person standing next to Chris, and also I am an Episcopal priest and a chaplain here in the Twin Cities. And part of what I want to do as I introduce myself is ask for a little bit of grace and a little bit of forgiveness, because I am an Episcopal priest. So part of my language is going to come from that tradition, and we're just going to roll with it today.
I'll try to translate.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
This is why there's two of us.
Fabriquese.
So I think there's one thing about being an expert in a thing, being well trained in a thing. But I think more importantly for why I'm here today is because I am a person that has built my life on the question of, what does my relationship with God have to do with my relationship with humans? And what does my relationship with humans have to do with my relationship with God? How we show up together matters. How we care for each other matters. And so today, that's what we get to talk about.
Deal. I'm excited. I don't know about you all, but yeah. What we really wanted to focus on today is that question about spirituality, and what does it look like to bring our spirituality to this care situation, to the tools that we've cultivated as a community that we've worked so hard on figuring out together, into the tender spaces of life, the spaces that feel vulnerable, feel hard. And what does it look like to bring these things to that without having to either be a power play over somebody or apologetic of the fact that God is something within my wrestling of this thing called life. And so we're going to define a few terms just so we have this similar lens that we can look on this conversation about, and then we'll move into kind of what does that look like.
Yeah. So when we think about spirituality, we're talking about connection. How are we connected to ourselves, to the humans around us, and to something that is larger than us? How do we connect to what is greater than what we can understand, that thing that guides us and yet is sometimes intangible? I think often our culture that we live in kind of squishes together this understanding of spirituality, theology, religion. And so I want to pull some of these things apart this morning, because we're not talking about theology and we're not talking about institutional religion when we talk about this. Theology meaning this kind of intellectual study of what we believe in, the brain. And religion being the institutions and the structures that we have created to fit within those. Spirituality, in the way that we are coming to it today, is really about how do we take our souls, how do we understand how we join those souls together with something that is working outside of ourselves.
Yeah, that connection to something bigger and deeper than ourselves. So here at Fab, we talk about weaving the three strands together. So God is one of those strands, self is one of those strands, and others, which can be the humans around us and nature, creation. And how do we intentionally, I guess is the word I'm looking for, weave those three together in ways that create space for all three, while also recognizing that they're deeply woven to one another. And I think it's a cool kind of option. And so when I think about bringing spirituality to care situations, I first feel really anxious. I don't know about you all, but the examples that I've had in life are really scary at times, of religion, dogmatism, that like, I need you to believe in a certain thing when you're struggling. And that is really scary, to have someone walk into a space and have that pushed on you, to have that kind of that fear that someone is going to take me in this vulnerable place and make me think a different thing or put their assumptions about the world onto me. So my other option feels like I just leave my spirituality at the door, right? When I walk into that door to be with a friend who's lost their job, there's just no talk about spirituality because I don't want to be like them, right? I don't want to be putting my views onto somebody. And those feel like the two options to this. We talk a lot as Fabric, as a community, one of our historical kind of touch points that we talk about is a third way. And so what we really want to lean into is, what is that third way? What's that option that we have to authentically show up in these spaces and create space for each other? Create space for, what does it look like to have these bigger questions and sit comfortably with them, knowing that they're hard? What does that look like for you, Lydia?
I think it looks like a lot of different things, which is part of why we are having this conversation in the first place. Look around at how many people are sitting here, and we will see a different option for how we integrate our spirituality, how we integrate our understanding of care in different situations. And so, for me, integrating spirituality into care is about how I understand my own grounding in who I am, in my connection, and bringing that in order to build connection with others. We are talking about this idea that we have to be centered in that connection first before we build it with others. Connection doesn't just kind of pop. One of the things that I think I have noticed since walking into this space is the intentionality. The intentionality of building this community, the intentionality of creating a space together where there is an understanding of how we care for each other, of the language that is used, the language that is understood together. And that intentionality can be brought to this idea of spirituality together. So I want everybody to take a second and just think about a time when you have been truly cared for. And I don't mean that like something hard happened and somebody put their hand on your shoulder and was like, good luck, sport. Like, that's not what we're going for. Think about a time when you felt truly seen, truly understood, connected. What did that feel like in your body? What do you remember about the other person or people? What did they say or do? How did they show up? As I think about this, as I think about my own experiences of being truly cared for, what I'm struck by is the fact that oftentimes I do not remember what someone said. I don't always remember the perfect words. I remember that feeling of connection. I can feel that feeling of connection. So today we're going to talk a little bit about skills.
Yeah. You know, we were talking about this as we were preparing for this, and one of the things that struck me about this is like, when we've cultivated that kind of space where we feel cared for in this intimate way, you know, it's funny to me that we call this Beyond Platitudes as a series, because even those horrible platitudes, if done in that intimate, vulnerable place, can feel really good. You know, I was just talking to somebody, so give you a little background about who I am. Both Lydia and I are trained chaplains. We've both worked in a variety of different medical settings, and now I've ventured out on a little bit of a different path, though similar, in which I work at a no-cost family grief center. So I walk alongside folks as they are deeply grieving those that they love, and I particularly walk alongside individuals who have had a child die. And one of the things that I was struck with in this new kind of role is how people reflect on things that when they feel very cared for and loved, they reflect on the things people have said to them sometimes, and it feels like these kind of gross platitudes to me from an outside lens, but to them it was life-giving. It was caring, it was love, it was compassion, it was being seen and felt. And it struck me as I was thinking about this message together of, wow, maybe it's not at all about what we say. Maybe it's about who we are. About how we create a space to allow others to feel whole, to feel loved, to feel cared for. I don't know about you, Lydia, but I've gotten the feedback at times that, like, Chris, you just say the right things at the right time. Well, Jenny, my wife, can attest that I very rarely say the right things at any time. And yet I think what people are getting at of that is that they hear what they needed to hear from themselves, because I have done the work to create that space with and for them. And I want to invite you all into that space of what does that look like authentically for you. And part of the reason why we're co-presenting this is because we show up in very different ways to this space. We have very different personas, we have very different personalities, we have very different, we're different in a lot of ways, and yet we're both incredibly passionate about creating this space for others that are beyond who we are. And we want to invite you to be part of this conversation of saying, these are two examples of ways that you can do this. And because we differ so much, we think we can invite you all into part of that conversation to be your authentic self in these care situations, your spiritual resonance in a way that is authentically you and not Lydia or Chris or the mask of who you think you should be, but instead your full true self.
One of the things that entails is getting to know who our full true selves are. Because when we care for others, when we show up for others in these vulnerable spaces, part of what we're being asked to do is to be a human standing alongside another human in these tender spaces. How are you a grounded human? Right? Like that's a big question for a lot of us. Like how
feels
do
really
we,
simple though.
It
right?
feels super simple.
Like,
it feels super
aren't
simple.
we all human?
Like, yeah, I know how to do this. And also the amount of times, like you were saying, the amount of times that I have walked into a space and thought, oh no, I do not have my feet on the ground, right? Like, and so how we are able to ground ourselves physically, to ground ourselves emotionally, to ground ourselves spiritually has an impact on not just ourselves, not just how we show up in those spaces, but about the way that we are experienced and the way that we're able to care for others. I think you hit it spot on I recently received an email that said, thank you so much for saying this one thing. And I looked at my computer and thought, oh no, what did I say out loud?
Or did I even say
Did
that?
I say that? So really, it is so much more about who we are and how we practice who we are, how we practice showing up in our bodies, showing up to our spiritual selves for ourselves, that allows us to do the same thing when we get into situations that are a little bit tighter, a little bit more dicey, a little bit more uncomfortable, not just for the person who is receiving care, but also for us. How do we practice doing that so that it is more of who we are showing up as opposed to the performative, I care?
You know, before I walk into, I was just thinking about this week, and part of my new role is that I go to the houses of these individuals who have had a child die. And that's different for me. That's hard. And I realized as I was driving to this house, and Lydia and I both reflected on this, of that small, simple practice of just taking a deep breath and reminding myself of my own humanness before I step into that door. Reminding myself that, like, there's both this incredible hardness of showing up as a human in these different spaces and a relief of saying, I don't have to have the right word. I don't have to solve their pain. I don't have to make everything okay in rainbows and butterflies. And I bring presence. I bring love. I bring care. I authentically want them to know that they are seen, that they are loved, that they are lovable, and that they are loving. Oh, sorry, Jen. I thought you were waving at me. And it's truly kind of a beautiful aspect. We talk a lot about the tools with CareIQ. So last week, I think it was, Ian had them written out. And know your role, have boundaries, listen deeply, what can I do right now, widen the circle, keep yourself healthy. And all of those are fantastic tools. Professionally, it's so cool to be part of a community that I can professionally use the terminology that we develop as a community in these spaces with people that aren't part of our community, and they can feel loved and seen and heard. Like, that is awesome. Truly incredible. And we can have all of the skills in the world, but if I'm not grounded in myself, in my own being in that very moment, it all falls flat. It misses the mark. And so, while this is a tough, tangible aspect of CareIQ, it is essential that we take time to think about, to feel, to experience. What does that look like to show up in those spaces?
And part of that integration is about freedom. Because as we practice these tools, as we become more grounded in ourselves, and as we bring that into the care that we have for others, we have the freedom to think less, honestly. Like,
I'm very good at that.
Yeah.
Thinking less.
But if we can drop from our heads into our bodies, drop from our heads into our souls, that's when we actually get to show up for people, versus when we are thinking about, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Did I bring the right thing to this situation? What does this person need? What the list of questions can just go. And as the list of questions goes, so do we. To be quite honest with you. And I think we can all think about times that we have felt grounded and natural and things have just happened and you step out of the situation and you're like, that was great. Look at me, I did the thing. And I can give you a list of times that I have walked into a patient room thinking about something else, thinking about myself, thinking about the situation that the patient is in and the gravity of that. And all of a sudden, that is the thing that I'm thinking about, not the human that is in front of me. So part of integration is about giving us some space, giving us some freedom to move through these care situations and allowing for kind of giving up some of the power that we pretend or think that we have and hold tight to so that we can show up and be used as our full selves.
That brings me to the first fill-in. I'm going to steal this for a second. Steal away. So when we lean into the seriousness of the situation without the impossible need for perfection, right? Like, we get to step into these situations as community, as doing life together in ways that are truly beautiful and hard. And we get to give up that need to say the right thing, to, like, the times in which was recruited to walk into this room and be like, save this situation, Chris. And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I feel really good about my ego, and I'm going to do this. And then they just start yelling at me, and it gets terrible, and I fail miserably because I'm striving to do something, to manipulate in a way that is unhelpful, that is degrading the humanity of the individual that I'm meeting with, to degrade the humanity of the person sitting in front of me. And instead, when I can come in from a grounded space, as Lydia talked about, and truly see the other, there is a sense in that people can feel that, can be attracted to that.
I will tell you that I am someone that likes to be in charge. It is just a fact. I like structure. I like boxes. I like to know that I have power. That is not the best part of me. It's not the part of me that I lean into, but I know it's there. And part of what the invitation is today, as we talk about this, is to lean into the fact that there is something more powerful than us. That we are tapping into a spirit that is greater than ourselves in order to do this work. We are not, Chris and I, because of training and books and all of these things, don't have a special power that everyone else in this room does not have. We all have the opportunity to plant our feet and to connect to the one that made us. And that is how we are able to connect to each other. But that means that we have to give up on this idea that we can be perfect. We have to give up on the fact that we know what we're talking about. Because it's not just us. It's the bigger thing that actually feeds through us.
Which, again, there's a part of me that feels really appealing, right? That I want to be drawn towards. And there's a part of me that I'm like, I don't know if I can really do that, or if I want to do that. Or there's this sense of security of being an expert, right? That I know what I'm doing, that I can step into this situation and I can solve it, or I can be the hero, or I can that I can relieve this pain that this person is. That's where the platitudes come from, right? It comes from a desire to want to heal pain of others. We're not trying to degrade other people by giving those platitudes. It's that I want to solve it. I see you in so much pain, I want it to stop. And yet, there's something counterintuitive of that actually deepens the pain, deepens the isolation, deepens the sense of aloneness in this pain. And so when I'm able to name my own emotions, when I'm able to understand that this is what I'm feeling in this moment, I'm able then to be with the other. And part of a huge aspect of our training, of our kind of perspective on care as chaplains, is not that the emotions or what I'm thinking is bad, it's just that it's unconscious so often. And when it's unconscious, one of my mentors, Verlin, he's been a part of this community before, would say, what we're not conscious of, we tend to become victim of. And I think that's true. Of what we're not conscious of, we tend to become victim of. We tend to have show up in ways that are truly hurtful to ourselves and others. And so part of what we want to do is cultivate this space, these tools, to be able to grow on one another, of saying, as I become more aware, I have more tools in my toolbox to care with others. As I care with others more, I become more aware. That we get to play off each other and grow in this way as a community.
And going off of that, we sometimes forget, I sometimes forget that I walk into spaces as a full creature. I bring my backpack full of all kinds of junk with me everywhere that I go. And as we step into these spaces of care for others, we bring it all with us. And while we want to have this sort of siloed focus on caring for the other stuff that comes with us also seeps out in funky ways. So part of that is about being able to recognize what we bring into spaces, be it our emotional selves. So I am coming out of a really tricky conversation with my partner, and I'm going to go in and talk to this person who is in a space of deep tenderness and pain. I got to take a walk. I'm not going to go from one challenging conversation to another, because you know that those things are going to bleed together. I'm going to bring in the emotions and the physical tightness and all of that stuff that is mine and share it with someone else. And again, being conscious of what we have allows us to utilize the expanse of what we have, not be guided or reacting to the immediacy of what we bring. So part of that is emotional. Part of that is about our biases. Part of that is about what we believe about the situation, what we believe about the people that are involved. And that is stuff that works underneath the surface. That, again, going back to this awareness piece of like, we become victims of our biases every day, many times throughout the day. And when we care for folks, even folks that we know, that we love, that we have engaged with many times, those things are also available to us. And how do we bring this consciousness and this groundedness to allow ourselves to access those pieces as well? Not to say, I'm going to get rid of them, because that is a whole other set of work that we need to do and also can't be done all at once. But if I know what's happening, if I know what's at play, I can act differently. If I know my biases in this situation, I can engage differently. I can care differently, because I'm not just reacting to what's happening inside of me.
Can we all just take a breath with that one? that both feels like a lot and feels like a cool invitation. I think a lot about this community. I think a lot about all of you regularly. You're welcome. And you all show up with me to these care situations. The work that we cultivate together comes with me because I can't do it alone. I can't. It's impossible. And I wonder, there's a part of me, and I've struggled with the word, but there is a desire for us to realize, myself included, that the practice that we do together, we have a compulsion, a responsibility to walk with others, to leverage the work that we have done together, to be able to care with and for others that don't have a community like this. For those of us that are new here, welcome. You don't have to have it all together, nor do any of us. And those of us that have practiced it for a long time, we kind of have to bring that spirituality with us. We can't leave it at the door and say, and pretend like we haven't done this hard work together. That doesn't mean we have to, we don't have to make people think like we think or believe what we believe or change their mind. And we get to authentically show up in these spaces with our true spirituality and create space for other people to discover what that is for them too. And that's a tough charge. I get it. The impulse of not being like them is really strong in me too. I show up as a white, large, straight, cisgendered person in these spaces. And I know a lot of people that have looked like me have hurt a lot of people out there that don't look like me. And that has been, have carried that religion, that theology with them to do that pain. And so it scares me to show up with my spirituality. And yet, I don't know if we can do any different and truly be humans with other people. And so, what does that look like for you? To not opt out, to not pretend like you don't have to do it, but instead bring it with you, to give an alternative to what communities like this can look like, that are truly here to love other people, to hold space for other people, to care for other people. That's trickier and kind of fun. Like, part of this connection to spirituality is that there's this capacity for play that we talk about as chaplains at times. And that's like my favorite capacity. We call it whimsify here at Fabric. But we get to laugh in these spaces. We get to have joy and fun. And even in these conversations that are in the depths of the darkness that I do with my job, there's a lot of laughter. There's a lot of play. And it doesn't ignore the pain. It's not a spiritual bypass in any way, shape, or form. It's a part of showing up as human is you get to laugh, that you get to share stories, that you get to be seen and heard and safe enough to be able to laugh and to be able to cry. I often say that's my only two spiritual gifts I have in life, is to have people laugh and have people cry. And I say that tongue in cheek, but I also, what my goal is that people feel safe enough in my presence to be able to do both of those. To authentically laugh and feel joy, and to feel sadness and pain and hurt. And that those two can coexist. And I don't know how to do that any other way than to be spiritually authentic beings. And we've done that. We've practiced that as a community. And so how do we integrate that with the skills that we've developed with this CareIQ kind of framework?
going along with this idea of play and laughter, play can come only when we are connected to the needs of the people that we are serving or that we are present with. And part of that is about being able to show, being able to have the folks that are in whatever the challenging, tender moment is, show us what they need. So often, I think we are taught that this is what it looks like to care in this situation. This is what it looks like to show up. And what that does is it takes some agency away from folks that need connection. And sometimes in these moments where we think, oh, this is serious. We gotta be serious about this. What really needs to happen is some stupid jokes. Or some of these platitudes that might not make sense to us, but because they are delivered in a way that is based in connection and care and our authentic selves meeting their authentic selves, then we're able to actually attend to what is needed. I was recently with a family who had a large accident, and all of a sudden I realized that we were telling jokes about their grandkids. And the joy and the laughter and the life that was filling this room was quite honestly surprising. Because if you look at it on paper, it was not the time. It was not the time to giggle. It was not the time to lovingly joke. It wasn't the time to find joy. And yet, sometimes that's all we need to get through what is right in front of us. So my point in saying that is not you should joke in terrible situations. my point in saying that is
good clarification.
Yeah, I don't want to lead anybody down astray. But part of that is saying, what do you need? How can I be open to the expansive possibility of need of the person that is right in front of me? Because just like each one of us is an individual sitting here today, each one of us in challenging moments is going to need something a little bit different. And how we show up in those spaces to provide that care has the potential to allow for the folks that are on the other side of it to also show up as their expansive selves. And that doesn't always look cute. It's not always clean.
Rarely.
Rarely is it clean. And that's when we get to be fully human. And when we are fully human, we are fully connected to the divine.
Lydia wrote in our notes that we stand on the backs of giants with this stuff, and that comes from a few different avenues. It comes from the science, that it is truly nervous system science as we're developing understandings of that more and more, of realizing that this stuff matters. It's tradition, so our connection to great humans like Dorothy Day and Thich Nhat Hanh. And it also shows up in holy scriptures of a variety of different traditions. We thought about that as we were preparing this, of whether there was one particular story of Jesus that kind of stands out. And yet we both decided that the amount of chit-chat, as Lydia put it, that Jesus does in the Bible, the less serious stuff, is actually really important. Like, we get such a small view of this character of Jesus, the historical character of Jesus. And think about the amount of times that it seems like they're talking about stuff that doesn't really matter. Or he's napping. or going out in the wilderness, slowing down. Like that shows us something as a culture that's obsessed and worships busyness. That the person that should be the busiest in the entire universe is actually napping and wandering in the wilderness and having dumb conversations about who's sitting next to him in heaven. Like, that shows us something about what this care situation looks like. And as we kind of wrap things up, I just want to highlight the invitation of showing up in your own unique ways to this spiritual journey, to this care with yourself, with others, with God.
For me, one of the most important parts, and the thing that I hope you take away from this, is the invitation to expansiveness. Care can be a beautiful thing as we show up as our full selves. And there's a lot of ways to do it. As long as we are actively engaged in that intentionality, in that showing up, we have access to so much. I want to invite you to use it.
Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, you guys. Hi, I am Greg, he, him, pronouns, and I know most of you, but not everybody. And kids are coming back. Feel free to come and find your folks who you're sitting with. I just want to take 20 minutes of your time and waste it. No, thank you so much for everything we've been doing today. So much great stuff. And we just got to sit with all this. But I want to talk to you about making sure this stuff lasts and it can even grow, okay? Because this community was started in the first place not because there wasn't a need for it, but because the chances for people to find real community where they're dealing with the really stuff and building significant relationships, and not just doing it only from a self-help perspective, but from a perspective that really looks at the world we understand, the world we can grasp, and that world that makes sense, but is bigger than us. That place where God, religion, institution, the church, all those things can come into play, but are bigger than any of those words, any of those concepts can hold all by themselves. And so we try to hold those things and do that. And it is needed more than ever in this world. Anyway, so part of keeping that healthy is keeping this community healthy, and part of that is keeping it financially healthy. So Give to the Max is this month. You've probably been hearing that. There's lots of great organizations out there raising money from it. And we have a goal, as you heard from Ian a bit ago, for $7,500. And we want you to give none of it. All right? I mean, if you want to, you can. But we want you to give none of it. We just know that what we're doing is really important. And there's a lot of people who want to see things like Fabric succeed, either because they love you and they're glad you're here, or because they can't be here, but they want things like this to flourish and to be available for others. So those are the people we want to reach out. $7,500 is a fairly modest goal. We know we've already got a match of $500, so the first $500 that comes in is going to be matched dollar for dollar, and we think there's some more matching gifts coming in as well. And this is how you do it, okay? So you've got people, you've got friends that know you, respect you, and know that this is important in your life. They're your cohort. Send them a text, a mail, email, whatever it works with them, and send them a link and say, hey, this is really important to me. It's been really helpful in my life. I think you would really respect it too. And could you, include Fabric in your Give to the Max donations this year? Or maybe, it's not just maybe it's a friend that you've always shared these same spiritual ideas. Like you think about these things the same way, but they live in Seattle or, God save them, Des Moines. But they would, love to support. They wish they were here and could be a part of this. So invite them to do it as well, okay? Or it might be your mom and dad who, you're the only kid, you're the only grandchild, you're the only niece or nephew that actually goes to a church, even if it is Fabric, and they're glad that this exists. Aunt Betty or Uncle Ted or Mom or Grandma. This community has been so important to me, and it's been important for my family. If you got kids, you should see what they're doing right now. And I think you'd like to support them. Now, one of the reasons we don't ask these people is because they don't have $1,000 to give us. That's okay, $5, $10. Just ask them for something. It all adds up, right? So you're not asking, don't disqualify people because they don't have a lot of money, but could they make a contribution? So we do have these postcards. So I'd hope you take one. No, I'll take that back. I don't want you to take one home. I want you to take 4 or 5 home, all right? Because one doesn't make any difference. Send out 5, send out 10, all right? We'll print more if we need to. And it's got space for you to write your message. Aunt B, this is the community I called you about. So that's what you do. The younger generation, you send them a text with a link, all right? The older generation, you make a phone call, all right? And then you say, I'll send you a card so you have the stuff in front of you, all right? And ask them to make a gift that they would like to do. And if you have to give something yourself, okay, we'll take it. But really, we think the world needs fabric. The world wants to help fabric be successful. This community doesn't exist just for you. It doesn't exist just for us. This exists for the world, all right? So that what we're learning here, what we're trying, can be taken to other places and other communities and help them find the kind of meaning, the kind of community we've got. So, was that 20 minutes? All right, and I know, those of you who know me say, this is the shortest Greg has ever talked. So anyway, you do have these baskets, your connection cards, whatever you want to tell us, share with us, hopes, dreams, prayers, ideas. And then if you actually do have cash and you want to give a cash gift, I don't know anybody in that category, but these blue envelopes are for that. If you are a guest today, if this is your first or second time, you're just being with us is all we ask. That is your gift. Thank you, right? And I think that's about it. So pass those baskets, bring them on up over here by the candles. We got a last song as the kids all roll in, and that's it.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's, nothing like sharing a brand new song to try to make you sing along to. But this song is one that, for whatever reason, felt like it got stuck in my head and felt like this would feel good. It's called Into the Mystery. And I guess as we kind of zip through this song, you might hear that line come back a few times. Just goes, into the mystery. And we sing that a couple times. There's also like a little bit, you'll probably hear Karen sing this little part. I always think it sounds a little bit like Seasons of Love from Rent, but all right, so here we go. This is Into the Mystery. It's hard to see it, it's hard to still believe it. You have always lived deep inside my heart. I need to know you will swim the unknown seas. Follow me into the mystery. From my shallow grave, pray to find the strength to crawl, the strength to climb up to the surface. Tie my hands, the sorrow had a purpose, but it's time to stand. 'Cause I just wanna be loved by you. I cannot resist the need to hear you say it. Whatever you do, I will be there, son. I will follow you anywhere into the mystery. Love's a steady hand waiting for the storm to pass. Love me then when you needed me. Will you still when it's not so easy? 'Cause I just wanna be loved by you. I cannot resist the need to hear you say it. I will follow you there, I'll be there, son. I will follow you anywhere. We are sons and daughters, we are flesh and bones, we are full from the wreckage, we are not alone, we are lovers broken, we are vicarious dreams, we are tumbling in space, out of control, into the mystery. Sing that, into the mystery. I just wanna be loved by you. I cannot resist the need to hear you say it. Whatever you do, I will be there. Son, I will follow you into the mystery. To the mystery.
Awesome. Thanks, band. Thank you all. Thank you. A special thank you to Chris and Lydia for their message today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good to be together. I'm going to be carrying with me that image of, I'm carrying my backpack full of all sorts of who I am in it, whether I like it or not. So I'm grateful for that. And that reminder to drop from our heads into our bodies, that is so easier said than done some days, but I'm going to try. Thank you for the challenge and the invitation. Kids, how was rehearsal? Was it great? Oh, I'm so glad. Anybody have the winter wiggles? Hey. All right, thank you all for being here. Next week, we're back for the final week of this series with Carly Kammerer from Wildflyer talking about grief. And thanks for being here. Let's carry our backpacks with awareness out into the world. Thanks for being here. See you next week.